Khan was the warriors. Look at this. This was shaped in the shape of a helmet. That's where I heard the word Genghis Khan came from. And I guess Genghis Khan warriors, the Mongols, they used to cook their meat on the helmet. And the next day put the helmet back on and use it to fight. They were tough guys. And they used to eat a lot of lamb because many of them were Muslim. That's why lamb is used for Genghis Khan. Some people might be wondering, like, what's my overall opinion of the Sapporo Beer Garden all you can eat. At first, it's very different from it when it was when I first came 30 years ago. There wasn't any time limit. My friend Rex and his 4 friends came here and sat here for like 5 or 6 hours, and they just kept eating and drinking. And I think that whole idea of that special moment, that where in your life will you ever have that opportunity like that? And they went on to tell all their friends about it, and their friends probably came. And so although maybe Sapporo Beer Garden lost some money in the sense that people stayed so long, in the long run, I believe they gained, and that was their brand. The people, when they came to Hokkaido, they had to come to Sapporo Beer Garden. And I think that was really an important thing. But these days, you have to cut costs, more of an American corporate style thinking. Instead of for the long run, they're looking at short-term things. They've raised the price, so maybe what was 2,500 or 3,000 yen now is probably 4,500 yen. And there's a time limit. Lunchtime, it's 60 minutes. And it's very empty here is what I also realized. That's because, foreign tourists are not allowed into Japan. The Yuki Matsuri was canceled. This is the week after the Yuki Matsuri, so even if there was the Yuki Matsuri, it would be probably more empty, but not this empty. That's why I could get this one corner. I'm sitting here. There's nobody around me. Of course, it's an odd time, but even when I first came in and that was lunchtime, I would say maybe, 10%. So Sapporo Beer Garden is struggling with that. So I hope that things get better. And domestic tourists, they do come here, of course, but not in the same numbers that foreign tourists come. But it's a nice environment. Of course, you end up smelling like the grill. So you make sure if you come with your jacket or sweater that you're willing to get that. Going home with smelling like the barbecue. I have my down jacket and my polar fleece jacket. It will end up smelling like here. The floor itself is very oily and kind of oily and sticky. It's almost like for Olympics when they do the curling and they're like sliding. That's the feel I get when I went to the toilet. It's very oily, and so everything goes to the floor. So when you're walking, you're kind of sliding a little bit. And I think that you probably can't take off, and it will always be like that. So the smell and then the floor, that cannot be helped. But overall, service was good. Now that they have this iPad system that you can, basically, order whatever you want on this. If you want another beer, you can order the beer here, the meat. This takes some getting used to because I still couldn't do it. I could order maybe the beer, but I couldn't order the meat. So I was just asking the server to order for me, and she was more than happy to do that, especially now there's very few guests. So all in all, a very satisfying experience. The cost is a little high, and the time limit, I really don't like it, but can't be helped because things evolve. I probably ate how many servings of lamb, maybe 3 or 4. I had 4 jockeys. This is the 4th one, so basically 3 would have been good. I asked the server about when it's the price point when you just all you can eat and pay a la carte versus having all you can eat and all you can drink. If you drink 3 of these, then you come out ahead. So this is 3.5. But anyway, it was a great experience because I hadn't been here since 2002, 20 years. It was the last time I've been to the beer garden with my students from University of Alaska, Fairbanks. We have students, they were here studying at Hokkaido University. I came to check up on them, not only them, but check up on the program. And we all came to the beer garden, I remember here, the Sapporo Beer Garden, and we ate and we drank. So that was a good time. You gotta do it once in life, right? So it depends on if you want all you can eat and all you can drink, or just all you can eat and just maybe pay a la carte on the drinks. For those of you who like to drink, and if you want to drink Sapporo beer, now for this all you can eat, there's only 3 kinds of Sapporo beer: the Yabisu Dark, the Half and Half, and the Nama Draft. The classic, which is the Sapporo beer that's only offered in Hokkaido, you have to be in Hokkaido to drink it. And I've been drinking a can every night just because we're here, right? The rite of passage. I cannot really tell the difference. So you would have to pay another 330 yen. I don't know if it's per glass or to be able to drink the classic here. But you have 3 good beers. You really cannot tell unless you're a beer connoisseur. So if you just stay with the set price, because that'd be another 330 yen, it's almost like you're getting nickel and dime to death. And again, even if you look at it, like the vegetables themselves, they're bean sprouts, which are 38 yen per package. There are cabbage, which is probably 100, 150 yen a head. And there's pumpkin, and that's probably 100 yen for maybe half a pumpkin or a little bit less. So the vegetables are really not costing Sapporo Beer Garden a lot of money at all. And that's what they serve for the 3 vegetables and onions. And Hokkaido has onions, so that's cheap. So the meat, I don't know, it's lamb and then they have beef, but I'm assuming that the cuts are not at the highest level, so it's not that expensive. So I'm sure that they're making out here. But again, it's the whole experience of eating all you can eat here, you know, eating all the meat you can, and also drinking all the beer that you want. So I think that's the attraction, especially for Americans, especially American males. All you can eat meat and all you can drink beer. They're basically in Sapporo heaven. And so for Americans, I think definitely here, or even for Europeans, Australians, if you like beer, this is the way to go. So it's really up to you what you decide to do. Anyway, I have enjoyed this experience. It's more fun when you have people around who can talk and laugh and, you know, drink. And it'd be nicer to have someone who was taking the video instead of me always worrying about where the camera position is. But again, I did it all for you, and I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Beer. One last thing is that I remember when I came the first time, maybe 30 years ago, in Masaki and Tsushima, the island, Hokkaido island, only served Sapporo beer. Now nobody seems to remember this except me. You know, like I asked a lot of people, maybe they're younger too. Even at the Sapporo Beer Garden, Sapporo Museum, I asked them, do you remember this? And she was way too young. She was like 22, 23. Of course she didn't know, but I said, did you ever hear this? And she said no. And I remember what it was. It was a car for a week and hotels. Every place we went in Hokkaido, they only had Sapporo beer. And I thought, what? And then, you know, no Kirin, no Asahi. And when I asked them, they said, no, we only serve Sapporo. Why? Because Sapporo is the local island beer. It's the factory, the brewery here in Sapporo. So all of the Hokkaido people were supporting their brewery, their brand. And I thought, wow, that was great. So for the next 5, maybe 10 years, when I was in Japan, I only drank Sapporo beer because I wanted to help the Sapporo people and to support Sapporo beer. But now, you know, you can get Asahi, Kirin, everything here and anywhere on Hokkaido. But back 30 years ago, I admired that. It was like the village was supporting their own beer. And so my memory is that my impact is not as great because I have something to compare with it 30 years ago. Where if this is your first time, you probably would really love it and enjoy it. Now I've seen some other YouTube videos where they were having crab and sushi. I asked them about that option and they said it's another restaurant, I think it was, but also that they're not doing that anymore. Ichigo Ichie, once in your life, you gotta try it, right? I hope to see you here at Sapporo Beer Garden one day. Come by. Come by to Sapporo.